All right, last video. Last video. So we're going to put it all together. Let me type out a problem. All right, so I typed out a problem here. So the mean length of adult rainbow trout in the South Holston River is 12.4 inches long. I didn't write the word long, but whatever. With a standard deviation of 2.4 inches. That means most fish, most rainbow trout are within 2.4 inches of the mean. So they gave us the mean is 12.4. They gave you the standard deviation was 2.4. And what they're looking for is the probability that you'll catch one that's longer than 16 inches. That means greater than 16 inches. Okay, so remember, your chart only tells you less than. So the final thing, oh, now the cat. Good gosh, this is like a zoo insanity. So you want probability. Probability means chart value. Your chart only tells you less than. So if you want the probability that it's greater than or longer than 16, you're going to have to take the complement of whatever the chart says. Let's keep that in mind. But we're getting ahead of ourselves because before we can even go to the chart, we have to have a z-score. So that's what we're doing now. 16, longer than 16, is what I want the probability of. So that's my x value. Minus the mean, which they gave us was 12.4. And we're dividing by 2.4. Do that in your calculator. Make sure you always round to 2 decimal places. And you get 1.5. Now this is important, okay? You get 1.5, but remember what I told you? You always write z-score with 2 decimal places. That's important. So I need to fill in that 0, that way that I'm going to look up the right chart number. Okay, so let's keep in mind what we're doing. Let's get our focus. We have our z-score now. So a z-score of 1.50. And we're going to go to the chart, but remember, once we get that chart value tells us the probability of catching a fish less than 16 inches. We have to take the complement of that to get the probability of catching one greater than 16. Sometimes students will say to me, well, what's the probability that you get one that's exactly 16? Well, that we can't do with this type of problem because we're talking about area. So that's like less than or greater than. You can't have the area of a one-dimensional thing. So that's why the probability of it being exactly 16 is negligible, right? Just so you know. Okay, so 1.50, that's a positive z-score. I'm going to go to the chart and take my complement. All right, so my z-score that I was looking up is 1.50. And then I already remembered I'm going to subtract that value from 1 because I want the probability of being more than, and this tells you only less than or to the left of. So I want the 1.5 row. 0 is in my hundredths place. So I have 93319. So 93319. When I subtract that from 1, I get 0.066. My dog is barking because she wants me to throw that tennis ball. 0.6681. That's your final answer. That's the probability that you're going to catch a fish that's greater than 16 inches. About 6.6%. Good times.